drawing functionality of the indicator, and we'll focus on the dynamic and the static lines. If we bring up the configuration options for the indicator and move down to the enable trend lines setting, and if we set this to true, on the hourly chart the indicator will draw these lines every 20 pips starting at kind of a round number. So if we go to the bottom here, we can see that the first level is 5120, the level above that is 5140, and so on. If we go on to the higher time frames, the 4-hour chart, we can see that these levels are drawn every 50 pips. So all the indicator does when it's in static trend line mode is that it draws static levels of support and resistance, and these are kind of like a good visual cue to have, so you can see how price will react to these levels. If we go to the settings here and we enable the enable dynamic analysis setting by putting it to true, the indicator will begin analyzing historical price data and drawing levels of support and resistance based on specific levels in the market. Now these levels are qualified based on swing highs and swing lows that meet at a specific level in the market. There are a few settings that are related to the dynamic levels. And if we have a closer look at these, we can see that this one here, the first one, the dynamic trendline bar count, tells the indicator how many candles to use when performing this analysis. When it's set to 0, it's kind of an automatic mode, and it'll use the previous 250 or roughly 250 candlesticks when performing the analysis. The setting just below the dynamic trendline touch count is used to define how many touches are required in order to qualify a level. And the setting just below that, the greater period multiplier, tells the indicator on which time frame, how many time frames greater to calculate the trend line. So if we're looking at the hourly, the 4-hourly chart as we are here, and if the greater period multiplier is set to 1, the indicator will look one time frame above, which is a daily chart. It'll calculate levels on this chart and draw them on the 4-hour. So if you like, you can set this to 2, and then not 21 but 2, like this. There we are. And the indicator will look at the time frame 2 greater than the current, and it'll calculate the levels on this. So if you do this, then ultimately levels become more significant, and as you can see, fewer levels become visible on the chart. We can see here these levels here. If you hold the mouse over them, you can see you get like a little pop-up box, and at the end of the text you can see there's a number in parentheses. This one says 240 in parentheses, which tells the trader that these levels have been calculated on the 240-minute chart, which is a 4-hour chart. What I normally do with these levels is that I'll typically take the horizontal trend line drawing tool, and I'll simply draw these levels over like so. And I'll do this on the dynamic levels and the static levels, and when I'm happy with the levels that have been identified, then I'll simply turn the trend lines off on the chart here, and then I'll simply look for a little bit fast, where are we? Sorry, there we are. And then I'll look for other levels of support and resistance that converge with the levels that have been drawn, either using the static analysis or the dynamic analysis. So if we go up here, we can see that we have some really nice levels here. This one here, and this one here. We can see the price came down, bounced off very nicely. Price broke through it, and so this level became resistance when price continued lower. Here we have price came up to this level, bounced, went down. Yes, as you can see, these levels can be quite useful with trading, and when they converge with Fibonacci's or pivot points or some other levels, and they're generally quite good levels to consider when trading. I think that brings us to the end of this tutorial. I shan't get into the details of the strategies and how to use these to enter and exit trades. as this is the topic of coming screencasts. But that's it for now. If you have any questions regarding this tutorial or the dynamic or static levels, just let me know and I'll be sure to address them in future podcasts. Thanks very much for watching.